Hey guys, I'm back with another review and a brand new setup. As you can see, I got my light box here and my lights set up, which you can't see, and I also have my camera, which also you can't see, but you're looking through it, so that's kind of like you're seeing my camera, but not. Never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about. And of course, I got the figure in question right there, the Leatherback Kaiju by Pacific Rim, or rather, from Pacific Rim by NECA Toys. This is part of the second series of figures. The second series includes Leatherback, Striker Eureka, and the Crimson Typhoon, Knifehead, and Gypsy Danger are all part of the first wave of figures, but the second wave also has a battle-damaged Gypsy Danger, which they chose not to picture here on the back packaging, which I don't know why they didn't. It says, collect them all. It's like more of an order than as a suggestion. Collect them all! Okay. Well, I've heard mixed things about this series, the NECA series of Pacific Rim toys. Some people like it, some people don't. I like what NECA's doing with these figures. I mean, one of the main criticisms I've heard is that they need to have more articulation. Maybe if they were done by Monster Arts or someone else, they could have, done the better sculpting with better articulation. I personally think that we as a toy collecting, unit, society, what have you, are getting a little bit too spoiled with our articulation. I mean, we got to remember back in the day, toys didn't have all the articulation that it has today. But I mean, Toy Biz came along and sort of raised the bar a little bit. And yeah, once the bar has been raised, you should probably try to meet that bar. But there's nothing wrong with having, minimal articulation if it means having good sculpt. And I think NECA's doing a pretty good job with these sculpts. I hope the camera's picking up, all the little deets, little details. And back there you can see the spine and everything like that. The paint looks really cool. These lines right here, I think, are done really well. They're kind of done in like a shiny paint because, in the movie it glows. So you kind of want to recreate that glowing effect without actually glowing. So you got to use this kind of metallic-y paint, which they did, and I think that looks pretty cool. One thing is I had to pick and choose between different ones to find ones with the paint done well. Some of them had a little blotchiness or cut offs of the paint. Some of them looked a little bit suspect, but not too bad. I mean, if you can get past it, that's not too bad, but this is probably the best one that I've seen so far, obviously, because it's the one that I got. But other than that, all of the paint is done really well. Let's get right into the articulation here. The head has a little swivel so you can have like a little thinking moment. Leatherback, and his mouth opens, right there. Boom. So you can, it's a pretty cool little detail right there. So you can put little things in his mouth if you want to put a little straw, give him something to drink. Right there, that'd be pretty cool. His head doesn't move any other way than just turning. It doesn't move back and forth or up and down. It would have been cool if it moved up and down a little bit, but that's neither here nor there. His shoulders, just on a little swivel, just up and down, so he can get his little freak on, his little boogie on, his little dance on, and he got his elbow joints right there, and his wrist joints, it looks like it's on a swivel, but I think it might actually be a ball joint. I don't really know, because of this, it looks like it has a little bit of range of motion where it can move up and down just ever so slightly. Why they would choose to do a ball joint there, I do not know, but it seems to me like they did. And then you got each of the fingers articulated, which are pretty cool, so you can grip and grab things. So that's a pretty cool little detail that they decided to give him. No waist articulation whatsoever, and this joint right here is a ball joint, which, again, I don't know why they decided to do that. I mean, I guess it helps a little bit when you're trying to get them into different poses and standing, but it could have just easily been a swivel joint, but oh well. Ball joint's cool. And they have this joint here, this joint there, and the foot joint is also a ball joint, which I think is probably the only ball joint that really matters, because when you're standing him up, you gotta have his feet flat on the floor. That's a little bit hard to do, so he can get his little balance there. Now, about his balance, he's really top heavy, so he's gonna knock over. He cannot stand up unless he has his hands on the floor. If he doesn't have his hands on the floor, he's gonna fall right over. That's probably the only downside of this figure, but I mean, it's the design of the character, of the creature, not so much the fault of the figure. You gotta work with what you can. He kind of has like a apish body, right? He kind of resembles a monkey or an ape with his long arms, short little stubby legs, and but if you work around and try to play with his posability and stuff like that, you can actually get him to stand with just 2 feet and 1 hand, like a tripod. Just have to play with it a little bit. I mean, there you go. See that? So, it is possible to get him into some nice sort of dynamic poses. Not too dynamic though. Let's not go crazy. But if you play around with them, you can get them into some nice poses. And if you have any of the Jaegers, you know, you can have them fighting them, and it's pretty cool. But these guys are kind of hard to find, actually. I've actually not have seen any of these in stores. I had to go to a secondary market and get him. Still wasn't that bad of a price. It was $25. I think at retail he's probably like $20, or I don't even know, honestly, because like I said, never seen him at stores. So it'd be cool if NECA were to actually put them out there, or maybe it's just all of the collectors just buying them up right off the bat, and then of course some are selling them aftermarket. But that's the nature of the game. So if you can find him, I recommend getting him. Unless you don't like him, which some people don't seem to like him, or like the Pacific Rim line by NECA, then, you know, don't get him. What do I care, right? I like him. I think he's cool. Nice paint, nice sculpting, little lackluster articulation, but yeah, I think he's cool. That's it. Hope to see you next time. Later.